Yo, what's happening, people? It's your boy E1 here, back again, back with another video, you know what I'm saying? Now, for those who don't know, the new Fantastic Four First Steps is actually released in cinema. It got released last week. I watched it on the weekend, but I haven't really had time to review it, to talk about it, but like I do now. So today, I'm going to be reviewing Fantastic Four First Steps for y'all, what I thought about it, how good it was, what I disliked, what I made of the director and the choices he made throughout the film. I'm just going to let y'all know all my thoughts on it. So Fantastic Four First Steps is the first film in Phase 6 in the MCU. So as y'all know, the Fantastic Four is Marvel's first family, you know what I mean? You've got the Human Torch. Obviously, this guy has the ability to set himself on fire, basically. He can basically just throw fireballs, etc., etc. He can fly. Yeah, just anything to do with fire. That's why he's called the Human Torch. You've also got his sister, the Invisible Woman. She's actually married to Reed Richards. But yeah, the Invisible Woman, she can go invisible, as I just quoted. She can actually manipulate energy. She can do force fields. And she can, I think she's got some kind of telekinesis or something. I know she can move objects as well. Then you've got the brawn of the team. You've got the Thing, right? This guy is just strong. This guy's just a rock, right? But he's hella strong. Like the thing can move almost anything. You know what I mean? Pick up cars, anything, bro. This guy's wham. And lastly, you've got the brains in the team. The smartest guy probably in the world. Well, he is the smartest guy in Marvel. Let's not lie. You've got Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. As you know, he's just some bare stretchy guy. You can stretch his arms, you can stretch his limbs, you can stretch anything. I hope y'all ain't thinking what I'm thinking, but yeah. So it states in the film that the Fantastic Four have been a team for about 4 years. Wow, that's ironic. They're actually using the number 4 to state this, but okay. They've been a team for 4 years, right? So they've been saving the world, they defeated Mole Man, they defeated so many criminals, right? And then after these 4 years, right, some weird Silver Surfer woman named Charlotte Ball turns up and she's like, your planet is marked for death, right? And everyone's scared. Everyone's like, what? Like, Johnny's got the hots for her, you know what I mean? Like, the Human Torch, bro, this guy's a gallus, bro. Any gal, anything with a pulse, this guy will move to. So Charlotte Ball, I don't know how you pronounce it, guys, bear with me, but Charlotte Ball, however you pronounce it, she's basically Galactus's herald. So he sends her to different planets to basically mark them for death. So he can like absorb the planet, destroy it, and take what he needs pretty much from that planet. Because I think Galactus's aim, I think he just eats planets with life. So yeah, that's literally it. So obviously the Fantastic Four ain't really gonna let this happen, are they? So they actually go and confront Galactus and the female Silver Surfer on their ship. They basically tell Galactus, yo, you're not taking our planet, you know what I'm saying? But then Galactus is like, okay, I won't take your planet, I won't destroy it or anything. But in return, you've got to give me Franklin Richards. So basically the whole plot is Galactus trying to capture Franklin Richards, Reed and Sue's son, who is meant to be very powerful. He's got the power cosmic. So this guy's meant to be OP. He can literally manipulate time and space. He can do so much. But obviously Reed, who's meant to be the smartest man in the world, doesn't even know that he has this capability and this type of power. So the whole plot is basically them doing everything they can to stop Galactus, to stop him from taking Franklin, and to basically save the Earth from getting destroyed by Galactus. So yeah, that's basically the whole plot of the film. Now let's look at how each character was actually displayed on the big screen and how they was actually portrayed by each actor. So we had Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Now everyone knows Pedro Pascal. He's a very known actor. He's been in loads of big films. Not gonna lie, at first I was thinking, this guy cannot be Reed Richards, okay? He looks nothing like Reed from the comics, bro. He's too big. That's my only critic. He's too big, bro. Like, Reed is more of a slim guy. He's slim. You know what I mean? And he looks bare nerdy. Pedro don't look nerdy and he's not slim. You know what I mean? So, that was my big critic. He just does not look nothing like Reed from the comics, okay? But, however, in the film, he actually portrays Reed really well. He's very nerdy. I like how he always looks at every logical decision, because that's what Reed would be like in the comics. He'll look at every type of possibility, which I found really good. But don't get it twisted, guys. Pedro did a really good performance as Reed Richards. He looked very convincing as a leader, very commanding on screen, you know what I mean, which Reed is in reality or in the comics. Let's talk about Vanessa Kirby's performance as the Invisible Woman, Sue Storm. I can't lie, she was amazing. She showed how powerful the Invisible Woman is. She's literally OP in the comics. She's one of them. She is probably the most powerful member of the Fantastic Four. You know what I mean? So big up to her for her performance because it was very convincing. I loved how much she protected her son. Like she protected her son with everything she had. You know what I mean? From Galactus. Like who knew that giving birth and having a kid could give a woman 10 times the power, literally the power to dash Galactus. And the thing is, Vanessa Kirby wasn't really acting. I think she's pregnant in real life, so her acting like a mother was more like real life instincts, you know what I mean? And she did really well. You could tell how convincing it was that Franklin was her son. Even though I think Franklin in real life is like an AI generated baby, it wasn't actually real. But yeah, she really played a mother very convincing in the film. Now, I know people are going to be on about Jessica Alba, you know what I mean, saying she's Leng. She is Leng, don't get it twisted. Jessica Alba really did do well as Invisible Woman, I ain't going to lie. But I think Vanessa Kirby looks more like Invisible Woman from the comics, do you know what I mean? And if I was comparing performances, I'd say it's close, but I'd say Vanessa Kirby is slightly a bit better, you know what I mean, as Invisible Woman. However, in the case of 2005 Reed Richards, I prefer that Eowyn Grufford guy. He was better, I can't lie. He looks exactly like Reed. He's got that nerdy face, I ain't gonna lie. I prefer him than Pedro in terms of the Reed Richards role, but hey, each to their own. I ain't gonna lie, props to Joseph Quinn for his performance as the Human Torch. You know what I mean? Very convincing, very hot-headed. So yeah, he was cool, he was cool, he was great. I liked how they showed him as well as this womanizer, which is like in the comics. The way he like tried to pull Charlotte Ball, the way he was like, oh, she's hot, this and that. They always show him as this like comedy guy in the comics as well. And I love the way that Joseph Quinn portrayed the Human Torch. I love as well how they portray the Human Torch as not like a dumb guy, which he isn't. He's a scientist. He's meant to be smart. But you see how he worked out Charlotte Ball's language. He worked out a lot of things, which in the end helped him defeat Galactus. You know what I mean? Like he's not some dumb guy. In terms of appearance, I can't lie, I prefer Joseph Quinn. He looks more like the Human Torch from the comics. But Chris Evans was cold as well, man. He did his thing as the Human Torch. So I say that one's a draw. The only thing I'm disappointed in is he didn't say his comic book phrase, flame on. That was the only thing missing. Now, let's get on to the Thing and the actor that portrayed him. Now, not gonna lie, I was torn with the design of the Thing because in this one, he looks more cartoonish, more unrealistic. However, it does look more comic accurate than the one in 2005. So I'm a bit torn on the Thing's design. Not gonna lie, the Thing did his thing, but it didn't really get as much screen time or presence as the other three. Like we saw him taking the chance with that girl, you know what I mean, trying to chat to that woman. He didn't care about his appearance. He was actually trying to like get a relationship or vibe with that girl. I think her name was Rachel or something. Not gonna lie, when I first seen the trailer, I did have a bit of a problem with the Thing's voice. How it's not like deep or raspy. It sounds a bit quirky, a bit cringe, a bit corny. But now I think about it, it sounded alright on the big screen, you know what I mean? But I think at first when I heard the voice, I was thinking, this ain't the Thing. I wanted the Thing to have a deep voice. But yeah, I think the actor who played the Thing, he showed how the Thing is just the rock, literally the rock and the glue who keeps the family together. You know what I mean? He's the guy who cooks. He's like the guy who jokes around with everyone. Do you know what I mean? He's just that big brother in the whole family. You know what I mean? That they all need. What I will say is the way they made Galactus and put him on the big screen is a big improvement from the 2005 one where he was just a cloud. A big improvement. I ain't gonna lie. Like, people say they nerfed Galactus, but in this, he was OP, bro. He was literally... The only reason he didn't destroy the Earth, he didn't defeat them, is because he wanted Franklin Richards. Like, Galactus was portrayed almost perfect in this. Like, to be honest, it took Invisible Woman to do her thing. Charlotte Ball had to push him in that, into that, like, portal to a different dimensional world. It did take a lot to... They didn't even defeat him. They didn't even kill him. They just sent him to a different dimension. And I'm glad that he can be in future MCU movies that have not killed him off or anything. So I'm glad about that. So let's speak about that Julie Garner as Charlotte Ball. I ain't gonna lie, I had my doubts at first when I saw there was a female Silver Surfer. I thought this was gonna be some woke thing. But not gonna lie, she killed the role. She was very convincing. Not gonna lie, she literally said one of the coldest quotes in MCU history. I herald his beginning. I herald your end. I herald Galactus. That was cold. You know what I mean? She was menacing. I can't lie, she was menacing. And that chase scene, you know what I mean? Where she was chasing him in space, that was cold, bro. Do you know what I mean? That had my heart racing. Hope to see her again as well, along with Galactus. I enjoyed the retro futuristic setting. I think it was amazing. It set the vibe and the tone of the movie, you know what I mean? I love that. I love the whole setting, the whole vibe. It was chill. Honestly, what I love is everything makes sense, you know what I mean? The plot was simple, but it made logical sense, right? It didn't feel rushed or anything. Everything just went step by step. There were some scenes, I can't lie, where I was a bit bored. I was thinking, what's going to happen next? I was getting a bit like, what? It was a bit boring. But overall, not going to lie, the movie was better than I thought it would be. I can't lie, before watching this movie, I thought it would be dead. Not going to lie. I was like, 2005 Fantastic Four movies, the GOAT. That's the best Fantastic Four movie. There's not going to be one better, but I can't lie, this one is very close, okay? Very close. So, to evaluate everything, Fantastic Four First Steps is a very fun and enjoyable movie that I recommend all of you should watch. A great way to start off Phase 6 of the MCU, and a great way to tease in to Avengers Doomsday. A great way to bring us up to that point. I like the way as well this film balanced some type of comedy with some serious scenes. You know what I mean? Like, not everything was all fun and games, and then sometimes you'd get bare serious scenes. You know what I mean? Where you think it's over. You think Galactus at some points had won, which I did like. You know what I mean? It did feel like it potentially could all go wrong at any point, which you want in a film. You don't want the film to be too predictable and too easy. Like, I actually generally thought that Galactus would destroy the whole world. Yo, let's talk about that post-credit scene with Victor Von Doom in, bro. So if y'all don't know, in the post-credits, Susan Storm is reading Little Franklin a book. Now, this is set 4 years after the events that have just happened in the film. So obviously, Little Franklin's 4 years old. Now, she's just reading him a book, right? And then she goes to Herbie, I think, to get a different book. And then when she comes back, guess who she sees Franklin with? Victor Von Doom. You know what I mean? And I think Franklin's touching his face or something as he's got his mask taken off. But yo, that's a big teaser for Avengers Doomsday. You know what I mean? So what I'm guessing is, guys, yeah, Victor Von Doom takes Franklin with him. He takes him all over the multiverse or to Earth 616. And obviously the Fantastic Four all try and go after him to obviously get Franklin back. So overall, I'm going to rate Fantastic Four First Steps a 7 out of 10, guys. Really good film, really good story. I liked how they developed each character, and I would have liked to see more action throughout the whole movie. I felt some parts I was about to fall asleep, but hey ho, beggars can't be choosers, right? Thank you for watching, guys, my film review of Fantastic Four First Steps. If you did like it, make sure to subscribe. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all leave a comment in the comment section on what your thoughts are, what you agreed with that I said, what you disagreed with. Let me know in the comments, y'all. That's your boy E1, people. Peace out.